programs don't just highlight, fun things like Discord game night or movie night, things like that. We also provide different resources and programs that highlight different areas that not only online students, but students in general can learn more about.
Hello everyone, welcome to Online Student Experience Podcast. This is the first episode of Season 3. We are very excited to get started. So I'm Mahi, one of the Online Student Ambassadors. I also work as a peer mentor with OSE. Today I have Dallas with me. I'll let our guest introduce herself.
Hi everyone, if you remember me from last season, my name is Dallas Wallington. I am the Online Student Experience Coordinator. I'm also a UNT alumnus. I attended UNT for my grad school, and now I'm here working as a full-time staff member, and I'm glad to be working with OSE again.
All right, Dallas, let's get started. So in today's episode, I'm just going to quickly go over what we do, who we are, and what are the services and support we provide as the Online Student Experience Program. So Dallas is going to be with me today throughout the podcast, and she's going to answer all my questions today because she's more experienced than me, definitely.
Oh, we have about the same experience at this point.
Yeah. So my first question for you is going to be, can you give us a quick introduction to the Online Student Experience Program?
Of course, I'll kind of give like the spiel I give whenever we work orientations. Is online student experience is basically the fun side of being a student, but it's completely free, completely virtual, and it's available online for anyone to attend. You don't have to be an online student to do any of our events or receive any of our resources. OSE is still fairly new. We're coming up about our second full year of being in office. Like I was mentioning earlier to Mahi, is we have about the same experience because I started the coordinator position in July of last year, so coming up about a year. And then you started around the same time in the fall semester, so we've been in our roles about the same time.
Right.
So I'm just excited to be able to come back into this year of OSE and see what different programs and things we can provide for students this year.
All right, great. Most of the times the students have this question, if they're UNT students, if they can participate in the online events we organize. So it's all free and virtual. You just have to be a UNT student. You can be an undergrad, grad, PhD level, or any student.
As long as you are a student at UNT, you can come to our events.
You're more than welcome, yeah. So moving on to our next question, what is OSE's role in supporting online students at UNT?
So basically, there's UNT Online, which is the academic side of, online students. So they provide like the academic programs, the coursework, things like that. And then there's the online student experience. So we provide the support side. So basically what we do is our main goal is trying to bridge the gap and build community with online students, and of course, like students in general. But, typically whenever a student is predominantly online or a distant learner, they traditionally feel a lack of connection with the university because they're not here all the time. They're not able to attend the events that are going on campus all the time, whether it's because of distance or because they're like a non-traditional, they have children, things like that. And so our goal is to try to make them feel a part of the UNT community. So that could be from our events that we put on. It could be through our Discord. Or it could be more from a support standpoint, like with our peer mentoring and success coaching. So if you're not familiar with success coaching, it's handled by the full-time staff members and our graduate assistants. So you can just easily schedule an appointment with us through Navigate, and we can try to answer your questions or guide you to the correct resources. It could be academic related, getting involved on campus, or just general questions. And then with peer mentoring, which is a new initiative we started this past spring semester, Mahi is one of our peer mentors, along with Isatu, our other ambassador and peer mentors. So what they basically do is students who are interested in working with a mentor for the year, they sign up, we assign them to a student mentor, and you guys just meet up a couple times a month. You guys are able to do your own sort of mentoring events as well. So just kind of to get that student to student interaction. So with OSE, we're supporting students in very different ways. So that's one of the great things I like about OSE is depending on how much you're able to put into the like student affairs and support side, we are trying to provide that as well. Like some students, they may just be able to schedule a navigate appointment with success coach for 20 minutes, and that's okay. Some students may be able to attend, most of our events throughout the semester, but we basically just try to work with students the best we can.
All right, great. So moving to the next question, it kind of further elaborates what you just said. So what kind of support and services does OSE provide for online students?
A lot. that's the short way to say it. So like I mentioned, I realize I almost repeating myself, and that's okay. So like I said, when it comes to support, we have basically what I call the fun side of OSE, which is through our different programs. But our programs don't just highlight, fun things like Discord game night or movie night, things like that. We also provide different resources and programs that highlight different areas that not only online students but students in general can learn more about. For example, one of the main series that OSE does is called Jumpstart, and with Jumpstart we host that at the beginning of each semester, and that focuses on helping students kind of like jumping into being a UNT student and being an online student as well. And so that may include sort of like a session focusing on how to use Canvas, like how to log into it, how to connect your calendar to it, or it could be just doing a breakdown of the different online resources that students have access to, like regardless of if you're an online student, just some virtual options available. But we like to have a good balance of those fun programs, but also programs that help students learn more about UNT and the resources that they offer. And then, of course, I mentioned peer mentoring as well. That's since it's something we started last semester, we've spent the entire summer basically trying to figure out how can we better support students and build on our peer mentoring. So we've already been working on that, been working on how that process is going to be, the events that are coming up in this fall semester. So I'm really looking forward to that. We just have a lot of new and exciting things for students in general, and I'm excited to see how this year goes since we're going on fully year 2.
I'm also very excited to see what's coming up. So the next question is gonna be about how can students get involved in OSE programs and events. We have been talking about like the fun things we do and the support we provide. So what would be what do you think would be a good way to participate or become active with OSE?
Honestly, one of the biggest things is just showing up. But one of the hardest things is some students don't know where our events are and like where we host it and like what's the links. And so one of the things I discovered last year whenever I started working with online students is not everyone knows where to access these online events. So I'm telling you now, keep this in your mind, this is important. If you are interested in attending virtual events at UNT, we have a variety of different options available. We have the ones we put on, and then we also have, I know that the College of Music also live streams a lot of their events as well, so you can watch those. And of course, we love UNT and our College of Music. So there's plenty of things available for you to watch virtually and attend and engage in. So if you are interested, literally all you have to do is just go to the UNT calendar. You can easily Google UNT calendar, the events calendar, and it'll pull up. And once you get to the events calendar, there is a filter option. So you'll go there and press on the experience option, and there's an option to put virtual experience. And that's when all the virtual, programs going on at UNT that students can easily access. Write that down. So you can easily see that. You see events that other people are putting on, what we're putting on. Just show up, honestly. And I think also one of the easiest ways to get engaged and involved with OSE is just joining our Discord. That was another initiative that we started last year, was we made a Discord. If you're not familiar with like UNT and Discord, most universities who have like a Discord account, they have what's basically called the nest or the hub. So UNT has a hub that has a list of all registered Discord organizations and just different groups in general. So if you sign into Discord with your student email, you have access to all of the public discords that UNT has to offer, including ours. And so if ours isn't necessarily something you're interested in, but you're still wanting to see what other online like communities there are in Discord, there's a lot. There are so many. You could probably spend a good 20 minutes just scrolling through the different channels that there are through there. So I definitely recommend checking that out and seeing what strikes your interest. Because it could be a student organization, it could just be a channel dedicated to playing Smash Bros, which there is. So it really piques your interest. If you're not getting involved necessarily with OSE, we still want to be able to offer some different ways for you to still be involved as a distant learner or a student who's just, wanting to ease into getting to know people and build your own community at UNT. It doesn't necessarily have to be in person.
All right, great. I also find this resource to be very helpful because when I just transferred to UNT, I didn't know what are the resources we had because Ari was really into robotics and AI, those things. But there are also like Discord channels that have these things within UNT. So no matter what your interest is, I am pretty sure you're gonna find something on UNT Discord, right?
Yeah. Honestly, all you have to do is just sign into Discord and then you use your student email and then it should automatically take you to the student the UNT like hub.
Okay, great. All right, so now I'm gonna move to our next question. What are some upcoming initiatives or events the students should know about?
So some upcoming things that, I think students might find helpful through OSE is during the first 2 weeks of school, we are having our own official week of welcome. So traditionally, week of welcome is just the first week, but we decided to extend it to 2 weeks just to give students an opportunity to ease into, UNT, ease back into the school's, semester. And so through our week of welcome, we are showing students how to sign up for things like success coaching, also opening up the door for peer mentoring and how that's going to look. But also through that, we are going to be providing a couple of different programs throughout those 2 weeks, focusing on different areas that students should know, different resources, especially online students. And so that's going to kind of look like some tech, like what are some different tech that online students or students in general at UNT are going to need to know about and use. So it's basically going to be the first 2 weeks of here's some things you should know about as a UNT student and here's how to use it kind of vibe. So definitely keep an eye out on our socials and our website for the week of welcome. And then following week of welcome, we're getting started on our Jumpstart series. The what I mentioned earlier is some other resources and tips on how to succeed as a student, especially as an online student. And then, of course, it's a fall semester, so we have a lot more fun things coming up. Something that we started last year was homecoming online. So basically was providing a whole homecoming experience for students who are online. So whether that was live streaming Yell Like Hell, or if it was creating our own like digital spirit boards. So we're going to be continuing doing that this semester. And then, of course, in November, it is National Distance Learner Week, so OSE does our own Online Student Appreciation Week. So definitely keep an eye out for that, but it's not until November, so you have time. But I think the biggest thing is just keeping up to date on our website, and if you're a social media person, that's also an option. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And of course, just like following Discord or even just listening to our podcast is the best way to learn more about what's coming up and getting to know other resources on campus.
That was a great answer. I think this is going to be very helpful for you all. So I'm going to move to the last question for this podcast, and that's going to be any advice or encouragement for new online students this semester, people who are just joining UNT and, they're not very familiar with all the resources they have. So something you have.
I think the biggest thing is not just for online students, but students in general, especially those coming to UNT for the first time, is accepting that you are not going to know everything when you come here. Even when I came here to UNT as a grad student, I still didn't know anything. It's going to be a transition. I mean, that's how it usually is for like big life events like this, whether it's going to a new school or if it's getting married or things like that. It's going to be a big transition. And so recognizing that you're not going to have all of the answers when you come into it, and recognizing that it's okay is the biggest thing. All you have to do is just try your best, see what you can control. You have to be the one to go look online and see what resources are available. And if you don't know what the answer is, find someone who does. I will try my best, and if I don't know it, I can send you to the right person who does. So just kind of keeping that in mind as you get through the rest of the semester, and honestly, through the rest of life. We don't know anything. We're just kind of going with the flow.
Alright. Well, that was a really good answer. We are everywhere you can think of. We have our OSE Instagram page, and then we also have the official OSE Facebook page. Then we also have our website. Everything on our website is written down and easy to follow. Other than that, something else I want to mention is about our honors code. An easy way would be to do the Canvas course that's available to you guys. Just follow the simple instruction, and then you're going to earn credits toward your honor score. Then you can also participate in OSE events or schedule meetings with your peer mentors or success coaches. That's going to also help you earn points for your honor score. So those are the very few simple things you have to follow.
It's all at your own pace. What's nice is with the, I know typically, depending on how fast you want to get through the honor cord, you can get it through it pretty fast, just by going through the course and completing some activities in there. But like Mahi said, honestly, some of the easiest ways to do is just by attending the OSE events and scheduling appointments with your peer mentor.
Yes, that would be all for today. It was a great episode. Thank you for sharing all the information and resources. See you guys in the next episode. Go Mean Green.
Come in green.